Hello and welcome back to Wingot Plays Nomifactory. Today the plan is to get up and running our tier 3 and tier 4 micro miners. In fact, our tier 3 will be back here on the previous page. We have, between episodes, I've basically just finished up the fission side of things. I've built a great big capacitor sitting here to store the power that's getting produced, and I've done a little bit of expansion in regards to basically finishing out these wings and building some more random solar panels there. These solar panels aren't really producing all that much in the way of power for us, and we are missing coal for some reason, because even though we had the DML in here processing coal constantly, we actually managed to get down to 0 there. So I've actually put in place a second creeper, and that one's in the process of leveling up towards self-aware, which should hopefully help substantially with our coal throughput. At least now we do occasionally have coal in the system. I'm not 100% where all the coal is going, but I think a lot of it is going into making these these raw carbon fibers, which are needed to refill our fiber reinforced circuit boards, and our multi-layer fiber reinforced circuit boards use those as well. And these had gotten down to about 800 or so. So the carbon issue has been will be fixed as that creeper model levels up, and I've also automated over here in our fluid wing. I've made it so that we're automatically converting palladium, which I've set up its own dedicated blast furnace over here, to turn any palladium dust that we've got into palladium ingots. That said, we don't have much in the way of a source of palladium at the moment, so that's something that the tier 5 micro miner will be quite helpful for. We do have 35 buckets of palladium here, and it's 1 millibucket for every 2 raw carbon fibers that get made. So this will last quite a long time, but we don't yet have a way to replace it. So we will need to try to push through to the next. I have also set up over here, I've set up a couple of crates that the tier 2 miner and tier 3 and 4 miners will go into that crate in order for me to craft the miner and feed it back into the system. Because at the moment at least, we don't have the automation interface, because the automation interface needs these crystal tin components, which needs osmiridium, and osmium and iridium are both locked behind the tier 4 microminer. Also the crystal tin ingot. Oh yes, so we could make the crystal tin ingot, that's fine, but it will be very nice to automate that with an automation interface as well. But yes, the osmiridium itself is actually locked between the tier 4. So we need to push our way into these next tiers of microminers. Now, as you saw, I have taught the system the recipe here to make the tier 3 microminer. But if we just tell it, here, make 10 tier 3 microminers, it's going to complain because it actually doesn't know how to make all of the various components. And what we might do to fix the coal, I can't fix the coal dust issue while we don't have coal. And I don't think there was, there wasn't a coal ore that comes from any of the microminer missions. What is that? Chemical reactor. Fine. Also, there is a 21st going on in the background, so if you do hear something that sounds a bit like bad karaoke being sung, that would be exactly what's going on in the background. Let's see, I really have a problem with this cold here. So, let's see, zombie. What does zombie... I'm just going to see if one of these could do with being replaced. Actually, I probably could afford to replace that shulker there. So, give me the recipe. What happened there? Give me that. Cool. So, move that out of the way, unlock that, put that there, and then put you into there. Perfect. And so then that gives us another source for the creeper, for creeper pristines, and hopefully should help with our cold. In the meantime though, maybe I just need to put a pause in. Actually, tell you what I'll do. What I will do is I will stop the system here. That's making coal dust, converting it into carbon dust. So what I might do is I might actually stop it from just making the coal dust for the time being. Well, we need the coal dust, but I might stop it from extracting the coal dust. That's raw carbon fibers. Coal dust should be here. Carbon dust. Coal dust. So that should mean that we actually build a stockpile of coal dust here, and it will stop the system from producing all of those other products, but it will at least mean that we should have a stockpile of coal dust building up there. Perfect. And we'll have to come back and fix that later on, because otherwise we will run out of fiber reinforced and we won't be making any more multi-layers. Anyway, in the meantime, so if we want to make that, it's going to use some coal dust. That'll build back up. Some quartzite. I think there's probably quartz dust in here somewhere. Quartzite dust. So what I could do, in fact, what I might just do is I might manually just autoclave these. Over here there was that autoclave, which is automatically outputting to there. What we can also do is we can tell it, there you go. So it'll now automatically convert any quartzite we get into actual quartzite and then pump that back into the system. Good. Sorry, I promise we will actually try to get to these bloody micro miners. In the meantime, now let's take a look. So, micro miner, let's say we want to make 10. So those are being crafted. That should sort those out. We need to teach it all of these recipes. Good. Now, I did notice one of them is plates, and plates is a perpetual issue because if we look here, the compressor array is completely full. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to take, I thought we had taught this, there we go, compactor. I'm going to make a compactor that is just, its whole job is going to be making these. Oh, we've got a compactor there. Okay, so we'll get this one to make the steel heavy platings and such that we need for the micro miner rockets, because generally we don't need those in the sorts of quantities that we need most other plates. Now, tungsten carbide, perfect. In fact, let's tell this to make 16, and then tungsten carbide plates can be made in the compressor itself, because I'm sure we are going to need those for a number of things. Although, it looks like I might be wrong on that. It looks like the only thing... Oh, they do get used for the gemstone set. Yeah, fine. So we'll put the tungsten carbide plate there, and we'll put the heavy tungsten carbide heavy plating there. But we still have a problem because we still are not going to be able to make that because we don't have tungsten carbide ingots. So, tungsten carbide ingots, that's a blast furnace recipe. So, tungsten carbide, it's made in a matte factory freezer. It's made with a blast furnace with at least Canthal coils. Now let me just check on nichrome. Nichrome is 3600. So the nichrome that we've got will be able to do the job. Let me just quickly put the tungsten carbide up there. Now we need carbon dust and we need tungsten ingot. Perfect. So, in fact, let's go here, because what we've done is we've told it to stop making carbon dust as well. So, I think what we will do, one, is I will get a storage drawer downgrade, so this only stores one stack at a time. We will tell this to stop exposing carbon dust, and we will put back the coal dust here, so that we do have a level of carbon dust available and coal dust available without actually using up the carbon dust. Now, tungsten steel, we don't need that actually. We can use our nichrome over here. So let's grab the various components we need to build another blast furnace here. We need the ME conduits, we need those, we need a storage monitor. Good. So that's everything we need here for the basic design. Perfect. Now this here is going to be set to tungsten carbide, and we want to always have, let's say, 512. Now and it needs to be inverted. Perfect. Now what we do want though is, because this is going to use up our tungsten, we want to set this so that it doesn't use up the tungsten unless there is a certain amount of tungsten in the system. So invert that, and then we need another level emitter with Fluix cables, and then this one is going to be set. I think we need to connect that before it'll work. This one needs to be set to tungsten, and we'll say we want to have at least 512 tungsten for that one to turn on. And if we pop over here, we've got 700 tungsten. And we've basically done the same setup here for tungsten steel, except here we said we want to have at least 1,000 tungsten before it can make any more tungsten steel. Now, if we pop back here, we need to do the top section here, so we need a random output bus, MV, that'll do. We need a heat-proof casing to fill in the top bit there, and we need an input bus which needs to have at least 2 slots. Perfect. So output bus, heat-proof, input. Okay, good. For a second there I thought that didn't actually complete. Now, we need to see where is our cable. Okay, so here's our input bus, there's our output bus. Perfect. We need item conduits. And finally, we need an item filter, but what we actually need is a limited item filter. Because to make tungsten carbide, we need carbon dust and tungsten. So here, we want to set this to tungsten and carbon dust. And it can have 1 of each. Perfect. And then this will extract onto white. Perfect. Now, if we take a look at our interface here, In fact, what I'll do is I'll grab some facades. Oops, that was not what I meant to do. Perfect. And we want 4 of those. Good. Now, this one here needs carbon dust and tungsten ingots. Good. And then both of those will go into there. That will this one will run because it has been told to run if there's less than 512 tungsten carbide and more than 512 tungsten. And then it will get frozen automatically. Ooh, that is interesting that broke. I will have to come back to that. But we've got, that's hot tungsten. Is this not making tungsten carbide? What's happening here? Let's do that. Okay, we're getting hot tungsten carbide here. Oh, extractor white. You just have to insert on white, aren't you? Always active. Perfect. Now, if we take a look here, hot tungsten carbide. So why is our vacuum freezer complaining? It is completely full. It is completely full and seems to not be running. Machine needs more energy. It might be because it's being limited by this capacitor bank here. So let's grab another capacitor bank. I suspect that that's what I've done, is I've screwed it up by putting a single capacitor bank there, which means it was limited to 25,000, which meant that this couldn't run. It does appear that it's now running. Good. I did think it was odd that our tungsten didn't seem to ever be going up, because I've processed a large amount of tungstate, and if we take a look here, we've got 900 tungstate still in the system, and so I thought it was very odd that the tungsten only seemed to have gone up a few hundred, and that would explain it. It's all been sitting in here. Titanium, tungsten, yttrium, barium cuprate. Like, they've all just been sitting here waiting to be converted. And look at all these hot ingots we've got in the system. Ouch. That's a big mess to screw up. But this will process all of those. Perfect. Now, what I think we want to do, though, is let's grab an input bus. Let's make it. We'll make it NVT. What have we got here? Yeah, oh, that is an NVT. I do wonder, can this go there? Good, so that formed. So what I want to do is I want to grab another piece of fluix, connect this, make that fluix, and then I think I want to put a export bus. I put an export bus there, and then the various hot ingots, I need a capacity card. There, one capacity card can go there. So we've got hot titanium, we've got hot tungsten. We've got hot yttrium barium, yttrium barium cuprate, and we've got hot tungsten steel, maybe. Nichrome and tungsten carbide. Okay. Where's the tungsten carbide? Tungsten carbide. And finally, we want the nichrome, which I did see there. Perfect. It is still processing. Perfect. And in time, that should convert all of our various ingots. And we will get access to, in fact, let's grab, I think I want to grab the tungsten carbide and put it there. Didn't work. Oh, what happened there? Ore hot. No, ingot hot. Good. You've got high priority. Perfect. Okay. So in time, that'll clear out all of our hot ingots there, and we will get access to the tungsten carbide, among other things that I'd screwed up there by having the power issue. I can't set this up to show me tungsten carbide yet, but what I can do is I can go continue on the various recipes that are going to be needed for the tier 3. So we've got tungsten carbide being made. We just need to wait on it to actually get through the system. Coal dust, that's fine, that will get fixed. Let's go to the titanium chest. That one seems very simple. So titanium chest is just titanium plates. We can do that very, very easily. Cool, that one has been solved. Now let's take a quick look here. Reinforced mining laser, turbo diesel generator. What does it think we need to be able to make? Reinforced mining laser, reinforced thruster, turbo diesel generator. Okay, good. So the 3 that I've tagged there are the 3 that we still need to teach this. So reinforced thruster seems pretty simple. What's that in the middle? Reactant dynamo. I think it doesn't know how to make that. Turbo diesel generator. HV nanocircuit, machine hull. Okay, that we'll be able to craft as soon as we put it into the system. And reinforced mining laser is a tier 2. That doesn't work. Okay. So it needs 4 solidified argon. It needs 9 glass. It needs 2 blocks of redstone. It needs 2 blocks of quartz. It needs 2 nanocircuits. You make 20, go. And it needs a basic capacitor bank and 2 nether quartz. Which also looks like it's running very low. I want you to just make a standard one. I wonder if I take that. Oh, it's because it's got power in it. Yeah, good. So that should work. So these 2 are both standard molecular assembler recipes, and then pop over here to our tier 2 extended crafting table, and that can go there. Perfect. Now, if we take a look at the tier 3, let's craft 10 of those. It's going to complain that we need tungsten carbide, stainless steel gears, coal dust, solidified argon, reactant dynamo. Fine, let's start with the reactant dynamo. That's easy. That's a molecular assembly recipe, And then let's see what else it's going to complain about. We need Grades of Infinity is the only thing it doesn't seem to know how to do. Okay, so what I think I want to do, I've got an infinite Grades of Infinity source, but the question is how much of that do I want to import? In fact, let's do this. Let's grab black, white, white. Black, white, white. Okay, so what we can do, put that there for now. No, I'm in the wrong dimension. Here, go to the Overworld. Perfect. What? Why did the Overworld cake take me to so far away from the actual base? It's only 300 meters, but interesting. I did also note when I updated to dev and then brought the rocket back, it landed over there, 3,500 k's away. So possibly the locations that it thinks that this base is has slightly moved as part of the dev update. Now, meanwhile, yep, we've got a whole tank there of a whole drawer of Codes of Infinity. So all we need to do is tell it to extract, insert into, nope, that's the wrong thing. Insert, and then, come on, ow, ow, that, okay, you extract on brown. Perfect, now that'll fill up. And in fact, my whole inventory is filled up with Grades of Infinity as well. So, let's go home. Good. Now what we want to do is we want to pop over to the space station here. And we want this. In fact, the easiest solution is probably to import into a drawer. So how about, what if we repurpose over here and just grab a drawer? Actually, what we could do is we could put the Grades of Infinity here. Good, and then we could import there. Insert on brown, extract on brown. Perfect. There we go. And then we will get a very large quantity of Grades of Infinity here in the system in time. Perfect. So, now what were we trying to make? We were trying to make the reactant dynamo. And that was the only thing that was missing. Perfect. So, if you take another look at tier 3, then coal dust, still building up. Tungsten, carbide, stainless steel gear. So over here, I believe we've got extruders set to gears specifically. So all we need to do is add a stainless steel gear recipe. And that one will be fixed. Turbo diesel? Ah, there we go, yep. Carbide there. No, there. Good, get rid of the mold and tell it to make 16 at a time. Now, these extruders are the gears that can go there. Perfect. Good, now solidified argon is the only thing we're missing. And I'm just going to go check on our vacuum freezer because Cool, so it is still processing, it's just got such a backlog. Hot nichrome, hot titanium, hot tungsten, and tungsten's the first thing it's processing there. This is going to take a very long time. I might... It's probably worth building a second vacuum freezer. In fact, how about we do that? Let's get rid of that export bus. We'll get it to just process this stuff here that's being made. And then we'll make another vacuum freezer to fix the mistake that I made there. And for now, we'll just put it over here. So we want a vacuum freezer. Frost-proof. Good, that should be plenty. So vacuum freezer can go here. Frost-proof. Let me just check on this. Nope, needs to be up a level. Okay. Frost-proof machine casings across the bottom. Perfect. Good. Invalid structure probably because it's missing an energy hatch and input buses and all of that sort of stuff. So we'll grab a energy hatch. We can put that, I think. Let's do it here. Energy input hatch. Perfect. And now it's happy. Good. We need a CEF to power that. It can pull straight off of here, and we need to then pump in the actual power. Perfect. Now we need some way to get an input bus in. Which, tell you what, let's make a bigger input bus. It won't improve the throughput at all, but it is something that I could probably do with using later on as well. Oop, why did that not work? Okay, I want you to make 4 of those go. Perfect. Now we can put an input bus there. Good. Now we need an output bus, which may as well go. We'll put it here for now. Good. Output bus. Random EV, that'll do. Okay, now we have already here our export bus with a capacity card. Perfect. Now, hot ingot. Now we just need to go through and find again. So tungsten carbide was one of them. Yttrium barium cuprate. Nichrome. Tungsten and titanium. Perfect. Now we need a flux fluix cable. There. ME conduit. Interesting. Perfect. So that should fix that. Good. And why? It's online. Ah, there it goes. Cool. So it's converting them. Now we just need to import those back into the system, which for now, I don't tend to use them, but let's just make an import bus. In fact, this will be the very first import bus I've even made in this playthrough. Shock data model. In fact, that can just stay with me. And it's being slow because it needs to make the processors, and I haven't passively set up the processors at this point. So whenever we need to make them, they're being slowly made. I think that's something I will try to automate reasonably soon. Now, grab that import bus, perfect. And then that can go there. We need more fluix cable. We just need 2 pieces. And we are done. And it looks like it's extracting faster than it's being processed, but just barely. Good, so that should clear out our system of all of the hot ingots that we've got. Perfect. Now let's take a look. Tungsten. Good, we've got tungsten carbide coming into the system. Perfect. So let's pop back over there and set. There we go, tungsten carbide. Cool. In fact, let's grab a few more so that we can get to 64. Okay, never mind. I was wondering if there was a tungsten carbide here in the end game, if one of those was tungsten carbide, but it looks like that isn't the case. Now, meanwhile, we've made tungsten carbide. We completed one quest when I thought we were going to be completing this tier 3 and also the tier 4 this episode. But we have very much run out of time, so thank you for watching, stay happy and healthy, and I hope to see you in the next one when we hopefully do get our tier 3 micro miner. But in order to do that, we are going to need to solidify argon, I think it is. There we go, solidified argon. That seems to be the last step we actually need to do, and then we just need to get our coal dust and our tungsten carbide stores up and running. But those will occur very quickly now that we've fixed the vacuum freezer there. And if we take a look here, okay, so we've got a full drawer of carbon dust, we've got a full centrifuge here of carbon dust, so the coal dust should slowly be increasing as the coal is being produced by our deep mob learning over here. I did say, now the quartz I would need to look into, which, am I not even making nether quartz? Nether quartz. Oh right, it comes from over here, glass. Oh, okay. I don't think I ever set it up to extract this nether quartz into a drawer. So that'll be easy to fix. I'll do that between episodes. Thank you for watching. Stay happy and healthy, and I hope to see you in the next one.